Why go through all the trouble of writing an expanded and updated version of The World is Flat only a year after the book was first published? I can offer a very brief answer: because I could, and because I must. Precisely because of the powerful technological forces detailed in this book, the publishing industry has sped up, and it is now possible to revamp a whole book relatively easily. That is what I mean when I say I could. The reason I must do it is threefold. First, because the forces flattening the world didn't stop when this book was published in April 2005, and I wanted to keep tracking them and weaving them into my overall thesis. Second, I wanted to answer one of the questions I was asked most often from parents while I was traveling around the country to speak about the book. Okay, Mr. Friedman, thank you for telling us that the world is flat. Now what do I tell my kids? So readers will find a lot more on education and the flat world in this new edition of the book. Finally, I found many of the comments from readers and reviewers both thoughtful and useful, and I immediately wanted to absorb some of the best of them into the book. At some point I will stop writing this book, but for now, I am just enjoying the chance to keep sharing what I am learning, and thankful that the flattening of the world makes that easier than ever.
Audio Renaissance presents The World is Flat, A Brief History of the 21st Century by Thomas L. Friedman. Read for you by Oliver Wyman. How the World Became Flat. Chapter 1. While I Was Sleeping. Your Highnesses, as Catholic Christians and princes who love and promote the holy Christian faith and are the enemies of the doctrine of Mahomet and of all idolatry and heresy, determined to send me, Christopher Columbus, to the above-mentioned countries of India to see the said princes, people, and territories, and to learn their disposition and the proper method of converting them to our holy faith, and furthermore directed that I should not proceed by land to the east, as is customary, but by a westerly route, in which direction we have hitherto no certain evidence that anyone has gone. Entry from the Journal of Christopher Columbus on his voyage of 1492. No one ever gave me directions like this on a golf course before. Aim at either Microsoft or IBM. I was standing on the first tee at the KGA Golf Club in downtown Bangalore, in southern India, when my playing partner pointed at two shiny glass and steel buildings off in the distance, just behind the first green. The Goldman Sachs building wasn't done yet, otherwise he could have pointed that out as well and made it a threesome. HP and Texas Instruments had their offices on the back nine, along the 10th hole. That wasn't all. The tee markers were from Epson, the printer company, and one of our caddies was wearing a hat from 3M. Outside, some of the traffic signs were also sponsored by Texas Instruments, and the Pizza Hut billboard on the way over showed a steaming pizza under the headline, Gigabytes of Taste. No, this definitely wasn't Kansas. It didn't even seem like India. Was this the New World, the Old World, or the Next World? I had come to Bangalore, India's Silicon Valley, on my own Columbus-like journey of exploration. Columbus sailed with the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria in an effort to discover a shorter, more direct route to India by heading west, across the Atlantic, on what he presumed to be an open sea route to the East Indies, rather than going south and east around Africa, as Portuguese explorers of his day were trying to do. India and the magical spice islands of the East were famed at the time for their gold, pearls, gems, and silk, a source of untold riches. Finding this shortcut by sea to India at a time when the Muslim powers of the day had blocked the overland routes from Europe was a way for both Columbus and the Spanish monarchy to become wealthy and powerful. When Columbus set sail, he apparently assumed the earth was round, which was why he was convinced that he could get to India by going west. He miscalculated the distance, though. He thought the earth was a smaller sphere than it is. He also did not anticipate running into a landmass before he reached the East Indies. Nevertheless, he called the aboriginal peoples he encountered in the New World Indians. Returning home, though, Columbus was able to tell his patrons, King Ferdinand and
Sample complete. Ready to continue?